Hey, 13.
And I'm excited, man. We got Steph Curry here, man.
The chef.
Appreciate you,
What's going
bro.
on?
Thank you for your time.
Reach over here. For sure.
I've been seeing you walking these LA beaches, and I think Warriors fans might get nervous. I seen that boy posting pictures on the sunset with his wife. If I'm a Warrior fan, I'm like, oh shit, he's in LA.
You know what time it is, though. I get a little vacation.
How's the hand feeling, man?
It's all right. It's a little different. I ain't had this one before, but surgery, a little rehab, another surgery, some more rehab, but everything should be back to 100% and pretty soon. I'm just chilling.
What I tell people is they don't understand is even though the season's kind of ugly right now, you guys are resting, and you haven't had no rest in 5 years.
Yeah,
the run you guys have been on.
You deal with your reality as it comes, right? So like game 3 when I was, before I got hurt, everything was about how we just like make the playoffs and put together the young squad and all that. After coming off a crazy, you was a part of it, crazy 5-6 year run. So now that I got hurt, it just changed your perspective. Like, how do I come back stronger? Look at next year and figure out how we're gonna get back to where we're supposed to be.
Move forward. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but
you need rest, dog. You need rest, dog. Point blank. It was a blessing in disguise in my mind.
Yeah. Coming from a mid-major, did you ever think that Steph Curry would change the face of basketball the way it's played?
What you think?
Could you ever dream of it? You know what I mean?
You dreamed of it.
Right.
We all dreamed of playing in the league and doing amazing stuff, but
I never dreamed of changing the game.
That's what I'm saying. I said playing in the league. I dreamed of playing in the league.
Yeah.
Playing the way that I know how to play the game. When I was at Davidson, man, I was 6'1", 160 pounds when I got there. And I found a coach that believed in me and gave me an opportunity to, just go out and hoop and learn through my mistakes. I had 13 turnovers my first game at Davidson. And he didn't say nothing. He said, just keep hooping, next play mentality, all that type of stuff. So I took that confidence through my college career into the league, and though I was still scrawny when I showed up back in 2009 playing Nelly ball, like I knew what I was capable of, and I just put the work in. I think 4 years later, when I started hitting all them threes and like pushing the record book in that respect, and like changing my range and just seeing the court a little different, that's when I knew this could be how I could cement myself in the league. And nobody was really like using it as a weapon like the way that I thought I could. And it's a confidence thing though. Like you put the work in, but it's a confidence thing. And now you got little kids in high school and middle school and younger just jacking up threes, and parents and coaches getting
for real. I coach the kid. It was crazy because we had a tournament this past weekend, and my boys, they've been around. Like we get out there early, and Isaiah's shooting from behind the 3-point line before he even dribbles or anything. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, Dad, I'm just getting warm. I'm like, you don't want to start close? He's like, no, I'm good. I was like, oh,
you gotta listen to the whole story, right? Because like that's my pops taught me the way to work on your game. Like start in the paint, get your confidence, see how it goes, work your way out. Like I learned that from a young age, and so now everybody sees the finished result and they want that. The process. And it's like the process is just lost. Yeah. And so hopefully they understand that. I mean, everybody can figure it out. It just takes some time.
So not very many people, like I said, you've changed the face of the game coming from a mid-major. You know what I mean? There hasn't been too many guys that have been able to do that. CJ McCollum, Dame, Morant. Tell me what that was like, was coming from you. So you weren't really highly recruited. You weren't at a top college, but we started seeing you come on the scene when you face these big schools. And to be able to take that mid-major game and really translate it and play it in the NBA is a huge credit to how hard you had to work.
Yeah, I think, like you said, coming from a mid-major, it's about who you get to play against and like that competition. Obviously, our conference, we played in the Southern Conference. I bet you couldn't name 2 other schools in that conference. That's part of the journey. But we, Coach McKillop, who's still there, is like,
are you still coaching there?
30th-ish year. They moved on to the Atlantic 10, so they moved up a little bit. But in terms of like when I was there, we played against the Dukes, the Carolinas, the NC States, came out here, played UCLA, and got exposed and understood what it took to be at that level once we got to the tournament, what it was going to take to win. My freshman year, I was thrown into the fire. I was playing like 37 minutes a game at the 2 spot. We had another point guard, Jason Richards, who was 2 years older than me and was like our best player at the time and was like the steady guy, the steady hand. I got to learn from him. That next year, my sophomore year, kind of just took off. We had guys that knew their role. Everybody, came selfless, did what they supposed to do. We were 2-6 in the first 8 games and playing those teams I was talking about, and we took that, learned from it, put it in our back pocket, got to the tournament, and then we started beating everybody. And so it's just a confidence that you got to know that you can play with the best. It's not you get labeled that mid-major,
right.
D1, whatever. That's just just the history of it.
Right.
There's not going to talk about what we're about to do this year
True.
and whatever. And so you got, like you said, Dame, CJ, Ja, and you can name them. There's guys that just want an opportunity to play, and they got the talent, they got the skill, they got that killer instinct, and now more and more guys are showing it in the league too.
It's funny you mentioned confidence because the 3 other guys you named besides yourself, they all carry themselves with high confidence, and I think it's kind of probably like that chip on my shoulder. Like I don't give a fuck that I came from a mid-major. I'm still a killer out here.
Exactly.
When I was with the Warriors,
Yeah.
when you came, what were we like when in your eyes? What were we like when you came there?
Before when you
got drafted,
that year I got there.
Yeah, when you got drafted.
You know what's
what were we
crazy?
like?
I didn't know much about that specific team. I knew about you, I knew about Monte, and I knew about Andres.
That's it.
Corey Maggette too.
Yeah,
I knew about y'all 4.
I forgot Corey was
Yeah,
there.
Corey was there. So
Yeah.
I knew about y'all 4. I watched, was it 2 years before, all you with Matt and the We Believe situation.
Run, yeah.
I knew how that pride around, if you said that word, those 2 words together, people would just be like, yeah,
Especially in Oakland.
beaming, right? So
Yeah.
I knew about that, but I kind of, when I got drafted, it's kind of funny thinking back. I wanted to go to New York, and thought I was going to New York. I was in the draft in the green room, get to the 8th spot in New York and get me. And I got the call from Larry Riley, all right, we're gonna pick you in the 7th spot.
Was it dry?
A little bit,
Cause him and Don Nelson, they straight to it. 'Cause I remember when Nelly cut me,
sugarcoating.
they ain't she straight to it.
Straight
Man, Jack,
to
you don't want to be here. I'm gonna send you the short, all right? Stay in touch, kid.
To the point.
I just open my room. I'm half asleep. That's all I get.
That's it. No, but I knew it was coming off of a restructure where We Believe was a lot, and then the guys were going elsewhere and playing. So, I knew we weren't gonna be that good, but I got to work my way into the starting lineup and all that, and as a rookie, it's kind of hard when you don't know what you don't know, but you just worried about just hooping and playing and being around guys. The one thing that made me most comfortable is our guy Anthony Morrow, who I grew up in Charlotte with him, and when I got drafted, I knew he was. He had played the previous year, was trying to make his way back onto the team. That made me just hype. I know somebody I grew up with, I used to play with in high school. I followed his journey. Let me get close to him and enjoy this ride and learn, as I went through. But
I was kind of upset
cool.
with you though, because why you couldn't pull me to the side and tell me this was gonna be the outcome?
I was gonna say because I heard Jack
why you couldn't pull me OG? Don't get traded. I got something in store for
Give
you.
me some time.
I say you gonna be seeing this a lot. They're gonna be making songs about me and all kind of shit. Just stay calm.
Yeah.
I wish you could have pulled me to the side,
I heard
bro.
Jack tell that story because he's like I left. He's like I just didn't know Steph was gonna be Steph. So was Jack like an asshole back then? Because Jack was an asshole if he didn't really know you and fuck with
Jack
you.
was an asshole, but he when you with him and he
I'm
rock
with
with
you.
you.
Oh,
He
he's
with
gonna
you.
ride with
And
you. There's no question.
I think I had that.
But he's still an asshole. But yeah.
But you need that, right?
Yeah.
You need that.
That was funny to me because I heard him tell the story. He's like, man, I wish I would have known Steph was gonna be Steph.
Oh,
I
my
would have
goodness.
I would have chilled.
So my
Bling,
favorite,
bling,
I
bling,
got my favorite stack story. It's probably 2 weeks before you got traded, and we were on a road trip in Indiana, and we went. It was 7 of us went to I think it was a steakhouse right down the street from the hotel. The day before, somebody had started rumblings about your trade rumors and this and that, and you were unhappy, and people in the locker room were unhappy, and media taking over doing what they do. And I remember sitting at the dinner table, and you called up this reporter and cussed him out so bad for writing some truthful article. And I'm sitting there this how we do. Okay, this how we do it.
What the
You don't like
NBA's
what
like,
somebody
right?
say? We didn't have a show then. So I didn't have an outlet. Dude. I couldn't control the narrative, so I had to call the motherfucker, man.
crying.
Hey, Steph's like, this is how the NBA works. If you don't like I have to cuss like that at one point too.
I was crying, but that just told me when he know what he know and he's passionate about something, he gonna let you know. So that was one of my favorite memories, man.
That's classic. What was playing with Monte like?
Man, it was exciting. I think the hard part of how people kind of see us was they talk about, first thing they talk about with me and him is what he said at training camp my rookie year. Like,
y'all can play together.
Two young guards can't play together, and this and that. That was kind of how our relationship, started. But the way that his talent and just the way that he had that mindset, like no matter what was going on with the team, like give me the ball, I'm about to get y'all a bucket. And
we know,
and he did. And he did that.
We know.
He was unbelievable, and I think Monte doesn't get enough credit in terms of just his journey. Coming from high school, and y'all know him when he was like young. And I got the vet version, but
you got the seasoned Monte.
Yeah, he had a lot thrown on him as a young guy from a leadership perspective, with this team that didn't really have an identity. They had expectations of what y'all left, with the We Believe team and all that. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect in the sense of like anything, but when he called me my second year, and I was playing terrible for like 2 weeks straight, and he called me after practice one day and just kind of gave me some good words of encouragement. And like you don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that, man. Especially with
to people trying to have y'all in competition.
Right, like there's a threat between both of us and this and that and the storylines and all that. Like he didn't care. It was just about like how can we hoop and get better together and get to know each other. And he called me out the blue.
That's what's up.
And was like, yo, just let me know, like you feeling pressure, you dealing with expectations, I'm dealing with the same stuff. Like, and we couldn't be further different from our journeys to get to the league, but that was a good connection.
Common thread,
so
right.
like that's why I love Monte for
shout out
that,
Monte.
and
good dude.
And that's why I wanted to rep. I think I repped with the jerseys last year. I wore it to Oracle. Like I had to make sure they knew how much I appreciated him for sure.
Yes, sir.
Young Tony,
Mississippi Bullet, right?
Yeah.
Mississippi Bullet.
Tell me what it was like building with Clay and then Draymond coming along, because you guys are kind of like the core, the three amigos of what started it, and how you guys were homegrown through the draft.
I mean, it's a different story than like today's league, right? But it was wild to think when they traded Monte after during Clay's rookie year, and that was kind of the sign that we were moving into the future. And Draymond comes in, second round pick, the steal of the draft.
Did you know him before that?
No, I didn't know Draymond.
Okay. Untamed Gorilla. He came out just biting, just just hungry, dog.
But I don't know if y'all remember. So like Clay's second year, Draymond's rookie year, we were playing against Denver in the first round of playoffs, and David Lee, one of our guys, he gets hurt in the first game, and it was like the perfect opportunity for Draymond to showcase just what he's about as a winner, right? Like his Michigan State, journey. Obviously, shout out to him. Just got his jersey retired.
Shout out Draymond for that, for sure.
It was always that line, like Draymond's a guy that nothing's gonna show up on the stat sheet, but he gonna make winning plays, and it's gonna show if he gonna pass the eye test every single time. And for a rookie to step in like that with that confidence and your first playoff experience and make a difference,
says a lot.
As a vet goes down, like. The rest was history after that, and we just took that experience. Obviously, Clay, he's just so one of a kind, man.
Yeah.
Like low maintenance, low key,
Cool
can
as a
blend in with
fan.
anybody. Knows his role, is competitive as hell, and he can shoot. Like he has the whole package in terms of just how he's helped us win championships, and I know he's gonna come back strong after this ACL situation. But for us to be the young guys at one point.
Now you're the
Go
oldest
through
player on the
everything.
team, right?
I'm the oldest player on the team.
32?
Draymond's I'll be 32 in a couple months. Draymond, Clay, we got hopefully a good 3-4 year window to go back at it together. Like it's crazy to think about for sure.
That's dope.
Are you and Clay the best shooting combo ever?
I know you don't like
For
to
sure.
talk about it. Yeah,
For
I
sure.
love it.
Goddamn, you better say that.
That's
I'd
it.
been mad if
He
you
needs
said
to
something
hesitate.
else. I'd wait until the show. Like, bro, next time somebody asks you a question, you better. Fuck yeah, we are.
I love it.
Yeah, I believe
love
it.
it.
Everybody better believe it.
For sure. Mark Jackson said that that same year.
Early.
Actually. Yeah, early. He was an early champion of it. But yeah, I mean, we still. That's that thing. We still got more to accomplish.
I got a lot to do, yeah.
But definitely.
But I've seen, playing, getting a chance to play with you guys in the 17th season, and always competing against you. When I see you guys in practice and how hard you shoot in the workouts you go through, and you guys really don't miss. Like, you guys are real life shooters. I tell when people, like, when I say, like, that shot was lucky Steph took. I was like, nah, Steph's practiced that shot every single day after practice. Like, tell me what that's, like you said, you mentioned it earlier, like people only see the finished 3-point mad range process, but some of the workouts you and KD were doing, and then Clay was on his court doing his thing, like it was some of the most unbelievable shit I've ever seen.
When you're around greatness like that, it just continues to motivate you and encourage you because you don't want to be the dude that's not continuing to getting better. And so, like, we all push each other, whether we talked about it or not. It's just like a presence thing. Like when KD walks on the court, when I walk on the court, Clay walks on the court, Draymond with his mindset and his passion, like it's just contagious, and everybody kind of just wants to one up the ante a little bit. And so, like you said it with Clay, we don't even shoot together really that often. We're on the same court. Opposite goals,
but you can feel it. You can feel the energy and looking at each other.
Yeah.
No, I seen you guys because like I went there and I was someone who always just shot after practice. But there's a whole line to fucking shoot after practice and go and stay. Like everyone, Andre had his court, Dre had his court, you and KD had a court, Clay had a court. But it was amazing because even though you guys were in your own rhythm and motion, I can sense that you're kind of still. You know what I mean? Like you said, you want to improve and you want to look, okay, well, shit, Clay just rolled off this many. I want to make, you know what I mean? So it was dope to just sit back and see. You know, the finished product is championships, but the preparation was amazing to watch.
Ice the nets when they finish.
Eric Housen, he had to switch him up a lot. But
shout out E.
Oh my God, man, we gotta have E on, man. We gotta have E.
Hey, that would be an amazing episode.
I love
he
E,
has
man.
some stories.
He's the man. Shout out Eric Housen, man. What is he still the head equipment, or is he resonated?
He's not. His title's changed.
Okay,
he
deserves
he's in charge of everything.
Shout out E, man.
I can call E right now. Get anything I need, bro.
Great dude
from any team, though, not just the Warriors.
I feel you.
You know somebody at every team that he got a plug with.
He's a special one, man.
Learning shooting from your dad early on, you've seen me and you've been great to my kids. I want to bring them around and have that experience. Being your dad's shadow early on and learning shooting early on, is that what kind of got you into the game, obviously?
For sure. I mean, just anytime you watch your pops do something, if you're having a relationship, blessed that I got to be to see it, when I was like 6 or 7. Or he retired when I was 13, so for the majority of his career, I got to watch, and my brother did too. You gotta love the game yourself, but just being around and watching it, and you pick up stuff. It just made me want to work harder. When I was 13, I decided I was just gonna play only basketball. Got rid of the other sports, like that work ethic, and just how to like be a true professional in the sense of every day there's something that you can pick up. I used to not only watch him, but all his teammates. Same way your kids now. It's such a cool and unbelievable experience to think back, like what all the things that I did see
and who you were around.
Helped me to get there. So
real quick, go ahead.
My pops was never like the guy that was like, we gonna go to the gym right now, we gonna work out, and like he always made sure me and my brother wanted it for ourselves. He's gonna help provide opportunities and give us anything if we asked him questions, but it was never like that drill sergeant type, like you gotta do this, you gotta do that. That ain't your dad though. Yeah, it's not.
His personality ain't drill, so he laid back. Cooler than a fan.
No, that was a cool thing being with this team. But my last handful of years in the league, I went from Chris Paul, Blake, and DeAndre. They got tripping right before that. They were around Kobe in the locker room, around Lob City in the locker room, and then I came to you guys, and Coach Kerr was amazing. As far as just allowing access to families and the organization taking care of everything you need, so you just focus on basketball. But I was bringing the twins. On the team planes during the playoffs. Ball Boys. Remember they shot? They were shooting with you guys. We were in the Western Conference Finals against Houston, and they were over there shooting on the court during practice with you guys. Like it's kind of shit that like you can't make up. You know what I mean? And it's cool that you remember that and hold on to that because that's the kind of experience I was trying to give them. Like you were around Steph Curry, KD, Clay, Draymond, Kobe. Sure. You soaked that up like a sponge as a child, and it's something that it's dope that you recall it now because that's what I was trying to build for my kids. So I know that you hang out with that.
It shapes your perspective too. And obviously, as a dad, that can go the opposite way where you get a sense of entitlement because you have access to all this stuff. But knowing my dad, like they weren't gonna let that happen. No. Clay is the same way. Like with Michael, like you can show your kids these cool experiences and let them meet amazing people and have them around because you want to share that with them. But it's also on the back end. Like my pops always said, you're gonna work for whatever you got. It's nothing's gonna be given to you. And that was a message that he made sure. He say he's cool as a fan, but he makes sure I knew that part. Like, you gonna work for whatever you got, just like he did coming up. No matter who your parents are, at the end of the day, like you got to figure it out for yourself. So
that's what's up.
You had Mark Jackson, and you transitioned to Steve Kerr. Talk about that.
Mark Well, they're very similar in the sense that they're super competitive, and they both obviously come from their playing backgrounds where they know what it's like to be a player. They know what you go through on a daily basis. They know how to communicate. They know, just the little touch, points that you need to have. Haven't been in our shoes.
Only a player would know.
Only a player would know.
Right.
So the biggest difference is for Mark, we were young and we were unproven, and he had to create an identity and create an edge for us that gave us the confidence to walk on the floor saying we can beat any team any given night. And he's an unbelievable motivator in terms of just the way that he can articulate himself and give you some type of fuel on a nightly basis. Like he would come in the locker room and he wouldn't. We talk about X's and O's and game plans, but then he spent like 5 minutes just talking about life and like the perspective of how much what makes us all different while we're all in the locker room together. What we about to go out here and he'd bring it around some like pretty funny, serious sometimes story that just made you like your blood start boiling. Like, all right, we got a game tonight too. Let's go, let's go. For young guys like we were at the time, like we needed all that edge and that competitiveness and a guy that would go to war for you in the media and in the locker room. Sometimes it was to his detriment a little bit for upstairs. Like we were all just. We were just grinding, trying to get to that next level, and he helped us. He helped us get there. And there's no secret. I didn't want him fired when it went down. And, with Bob Myers and Joe Lake and Peter Guber, they wanted to make a decision, and they brought in Steve. And my whole point was like, if you fire Coach Jackson, you just got to get the next hire right, because we're in a position now where we can take that next
right
level,
here.
you can't mess it up. And obviously they got it right. Coach Kerr is he's special, man. Like he's wise, just in terms of how to manage people. Yeah. Right? Like that's a big thing in the league. No matter if it's the first guy or the 15th guy, you got to be able to be honest, be able to set expectations, and figure out ways to get the best out of guys. And I think anybody that would play for him would tell you, you always know like where you're at. Like you always know if you get a couple of DMPs, he's gonna tell you why. He's gonna keep you engaged. He's not just gonna walk by you and not say nothing. And we've had experiences like that across the board. And I think that's the biggest thing for long-term success. Like who your best players are. You know that they're gonna go out and do what they need to do every night. But the role players and the guys that are gonna help you throughout the regular season and have those spot moments during the playoffs, that's gonna make a difference. Like they got to be engaged all year long, and it starts in the summertime, the training camp, and all the way through. And coach is the best at just being able to paint a picture of how you're going to help this team and it being real. Like you feel that care factor that he brings. And it's been an amazing journey. He's obviously had the best 5-year run of a coach in history.
He's a great motivator, too. I won a championship with him when I was with the Spurs. And I remember I used to come out the game a lot, when Pop used to pull me for making the mistakes. And I remember in the finals, I didn't start game 6 off well at all, and Pop kept pulling me, but he kept coming to me like, "You gonna make some big shots, I guarantee you." And he kept telling me that, and I guess Steve Kerr. And I wasn't, I was in a funk, so I really wasn't hearing him. I ended up making 3 big threes in the championship game to win the championship. So he's one of them guys that he's so educated, so smart about the game that he can see shit that you don't even see.
100%. And the cool thing about it too is he's had every seat and
one at every seat,
right? Like exactly. So you're talking about like Chicago to San Antonio winning championships, to being the GM of the Phoenix Suns, and seeing what it's like to really manage a roster. And then he's an analyst where he gets to just see the game and talk to people and just be connected in the league. Then he's a head coach, and it's like he's got it. So this year is actually interesting because we obviously have a young team and trying to figure it out, and it's testing him in different ways that over the last 5 years he hasn't been tested in. He's handling it, man. It's obviously our record is not great, but all the young guys, when you ask them like how do you like Coach Kerr, and you hear what they have to say about him and how they make him feel, like amidst the struggles that they're going through, it's that says a lot.
He don't have a problem with the flower either, I don't think.
No, he's someone that enjoys the. Well, I remember when I was playing, he had the spine stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that's when he was kind of dabbling in the CBD space, because it was sad. I remember because I was hurt in the playoffs too. He couldn't sit. Like if he could sit for 2 minutes, then he'd have to lay. Then he'd have to walk around. Then he would try to sit. Like his pain was enormously through the roof. So it was one time. It's kind of awkward though, because head coach and player. This is my last season, not knowing, but it was my last season. I was just like, do you smoke? Do you take CBD? I mean, I'm asking my coach staff just because I'm seeing like how uncomfortable and how in pain he is. And he, I've tried this and I've tried that, and it was just hard because he's such a good guy, but he was really going through some shit with that spinal stuff he was going through.
It was crazy.
How long did it take for you guys to bond? You know what I mean? Like I said, you were a big advocate for Mark Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want him fired, but you were persistent on making sure it's the right hire. Once you kind of realized that he was the right hire, how long did it take you guys to bond?
I say that first year, like leading up to Christmas game, that's probably the point where I got comfortable understanding, how I was going to help or how I was going to take advantage of the system that he put in place, because it was drastically different than Coach Jackson. So we always laughed. He, talk about ball movement, player movement, just making the right open pass, keep the ball moving. Something's gonna lead to a good shot at some point. And we had certain like reads and calls, very similar to the Spurs system.
Yep.
And he always say like, this is pretty intuitive what we're trying to do, but we just got to get the fundamentals and the foundations of it for this year, and then next year, when we really got it and everybody understands where to be and when, the timing of everything, like we really gonna take off. But it's like funny because that first year we won the championship, and every day it was about just keeping things simple, right? And as a point guard, I love that because my game, I try to keep things simple. Like take the first open shot.
Your handles ain't simple.
Far from it.
Your handles are not simple.
Beyond that, just, if you open from 30, shoot it. If not, move it. Get off the ball. Get out the way. Somebody else make a play. We obviously were blessed with a lot of different playmakers. You got myself, Sean, Andre, Draymond. From the top, we had bigs that could pass with Bogut. And all that, so like it worked because of our personnel. But that's just a fun way to play basketball,
right, yeah.
And it's obviously proved success. But when like everybody feels involved and like they know who to get the ball to if they need to.
But they all
like,
touch.
Everybody touches. Everybody looking at the rim, being a threat. Don't nobody know who about to shoot.
Right. And that's what makes you so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because everyone is one. Because I caught both ends of you guys. Obviously, kind of, we were, I wouldn't even say big brother, but kind of, you were the Lob City team was kind of your battle and your barometer from the time we beat you guys until you guys win the championship next year. So we saw the Mark Jackson building that foundation, and I'll be like, oh, these young motherfuckers about to be nice. And Draymond, because I remember we had CP and he was the guy, and Draymond's like, fuck that, I'm taking Steph Curry every single night. And he was doing some fucked up shit to our team, like stepping on Chris's shoe, making him fall, hitting jumpers.
Yeah, I saw that.
He stepped on his shoe. And then the one time in Golden State where you went in between the whole team at the free throw, came out and turnaround shot, and then when Kerr was like, and he made it, there was probably one of the most unbelievable shots. You dribbled around, down, free throw line, back, turn around, fade, 3-pointer, like all kinds of crazy dribbling in between. Now, just like, this dude's a man. Like, dude, you can't do nothing with him. That was a dope series.
That series was
so much energy. But that's when we knew, like, I knew being a basketball mind, I was like, these motherfuckers got next, and it's going to be next for a minute. And it was amazing. Like I said, we were still competitive and wanted to kick your guys' asses, but we can see what you guys are building and how special you guys were. That last year, I mean, that series, I think, was when all the Sterling shit happened. That was the Sterling shit that happened.
And it was kind of crazy, like, you talk about two teams that, to be honest, they hated each other. And there's a lot of animosity and history and all that. Get into a 7-game series. Then you got all the other NBA drama going on, and we're like having conversations in the back, like, hey, all right, if they don't make the race, like, what we gonna do? We gonna protest? We gonna, walk off the court? Like,
what you would have done if they would have decided not to play?
We had conversations, like, if they would have done the wrong thing in terms of not kicking them out the league and having a lifetime ban or whatever. There was talks about us going to jump ball. Let the jump ball, we all shake hands and just walk off the floor.
That would have been so hard.
Part of me, that
would have been so dope.
Part of me,
that would have been crazy.
We should have did it anyway.
When you think about his place in history and what it would have been, right? That shit would have been dope as hell.
That would have been awesome. Yeah. Man.
But that was a crazy series. That definitely, like, when we lost and we were sitting there watching on the next round, but it definitely helped us.
But I think too, and I can say this because I think people know, like, it was a perfect sign of we had the most talent in the NBA. They were a young team that had a ton of talent too, but what set them aside is they really fucked with each other, and their chemistry made them better than us. You know, even though at the time we were older, bigger, stronger, we had more talent, we should have probably won a finals. Like, you could tell this team was up and coming, but they really, they put, from the outside looking in, once I got there and I saw the whole situation with KD and how you guys really put your game, your egos, everything to the side, but from the outside looking in early on, I'm like, these guys just want to win. They don't care who scores, what's going on. Like, they're just out here playing basketball, laughing, jumping, and having a good time, and those are scary teams.
That's part of our DNA, man, and I think that's why it worked. Because if you have that much talent and you stress out about whatever, like somebody else's success, or if you getting yours and all that, like you gotta set that foundation early before it gets out of hand, and that's why we accomplished what we did, man.
Winning the championship is always good. You got a couple of them motherfuckers.
3?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is it the favorite one?
The first one for sure.
First one's the favorite.
Just
Why?
because you don't know what it takes to get there until you actually accomplish it, and it's just a whole nother level of freedom after that. And you got one, like we can get greedy now, but the stress of trying to get that one is that first. Like even that's a stressful time. Like even you playing Bron, and obviously they had injuries and whatnot, but just like the grind, 82 games. You gotta be locked in every
Plus
night.
16.
Plus 16 wins. We took us 21 or 22, whatever it was, to get there. And you know how intense in playoff games are, man.
Each round.
It's like it's so hard to put into words, but when you finally hit a horn sound, we in Cleveland like celebrating. Chains was off. Like, all right, who knows what's about to happen from here.
You know, it was dope when they went back and played next year.
He said he smelled that.
You said
he
that?
said it.
Oh yeah,
He said it.
Locker still smell like champagne.
Zach got a little bit of asshole shit talking in him, but he just covers it up with the good image. Yeah, but that shit was slick as fuck. Like, that shit still smell like shit. I was like, oh, he's an asshole. That shit was funny as a motherfucker, boy.
That was dope.
You had 3 championships. You know, the 2 losses.
Yeah.
One of the, you know, how close you were to possibly winning 4 or 5 without injury last season. Like, tell me what that's like.
I just love being in that conversation, man. Every year, if you're in the finals, like, as crazy as it sounds, not many people get that experience. You know, some all-time greats
Never
played in the finals or never won. So, like, there's a sense of gratitude for that. Obviously, as a competitor, it sucks when you lose. Like, everybody knows that. 16 was hard. 16 was, you know, just an up and down crazy, you know, playoff run. Obviously 73-9. Then we get into the playoffs. I get hurt, miss like 3 weeks of the playoffs. Come back. We get to Western Conference Finals. We're down 3-1. Like, people think our season's over with. Come back.
Yeah.
So we were on both sides of a 3-1 situation. And then in the finals, obviously, you know, I think the wheels just fell off. And Kyrie and LeBron played unbelievably for 3 straight games. Like, I don't think people talk about that part of it as much. It's always like, oh, we all sucked.
They was on one.
They was on one. Like, we got beat. Like, we didn't lose. We got beat.
Right.
So part of it is just like each year has a different like narrative and experience. And I look back, like I appreciate each and every one of them because one, you remember who you went to war with, and you know, those wins were special, but even the losses, like, you got to put into perspective, man. We were in the finals. Like,
bam, 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 bam.
You lost to 2 great players, too.
Yeah, and it was a fight. Like, I think at the end of the day, when we all, you know, hosting our own podcast down like, and I look across the room and I see Bron and Kyrie and Kawhi and Kyle Lowry, like, I'm like, yo, that was fun as hell, bro. Like,
That's crazy, right?
Like, y'all beat us. It was fun. It was mad
Let
fun.
that stay away as long as possible. Enjoy this shit because it goes by like this. You touched on it real quick, and I think what gets lost in the shuffle is that 73-9 season. Like, what was that like, knowing that you guys were
Some Xbox shit.
crazy? Like, you know what I mean?
Seemed like the
With
season.
Bulls.
You like every 73
And throughout, you hear Pippen
got a
talking a little
squad.
bit, and former Bulls talking, and they're not going to be able to do it. And you guys went 73-9, and but then you hear, oh, well, they didn't win the champ. Like, you know, I think what gets lost is you guys lost 9 games in one. That's incredible.
That's unbelievable, though.
What was that? What was the regular season? And that drained you guys. People don't understand. That's a mental drain too. That's not just a physical drain. What's that mental drain like?
So I think it started in the summer so we won the championship in 15. All season happens, and all we hear all year is we got lucky, right? That's literally all we hear. Cleveland was hurt, Mike Conley was hurt, like whatever the narrative was, and we don't care. We won a championship,
right?
So all we want to do coming in next year is like, you know, let them know validate, right? we started off 24-0.
Ooh.
So like that part of it alone was
That's
like
sick.
that was.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that part was the craziest thing in the world, just because we had OD confidence, we had chemistry, like you said, and like the chains was off. We were just like, let's just go win every single game, and to go 24-0, like the intensity of that to start a season it was worth it, but it was a lot, and the chase down the stretch. Every game was like the finals, and
we would have been celebrating right there.
That'd have been enough for us.
Champagne, 24-0. Let's go, baby.
Short term goals.
And everybody's like, do we regret going after 73 wins because we may have flamed out in the finals? No, like that was an amazing accomplishment. We knew we could do that and go, win another ring, and we were right there, obviously. So it is bittersweet. You look at the banner and it says 73-9, most wins in the league, and it does remind you of the finals. But everybody thought 72-9 was untouchable, and we got it. So that's the beauty of the league. Like, it just keeps getting better and better. So we'll see.
Tell me your thoughts on, because today is such a, join another team or big trade, but the root of your team was through the draft, and then it positioned you to be able to pick up KD in free agent. Tell me about that whole process.
I mean, I'm not the best one to ask, 'cause I've been with the same team for 11 years, but it's like the landscape is different, right? There's a lot more player movement, player freedom, and that's a great thing to have, where you can control your own destiny in a sense. Like, there's been plenty of teams that have thought that their big 2, big 3 was going to get it done, but it didn't happen.
Right.
And you got to take a shot at it. You got to go after. Every year is precious. We all know that. And so I love the I guess you call it the suspense of it. Like, every summer, like, all right, how drastic is the league? Differently is the league going to look next year? And this summer was crazy. And it's going to get even crazier as we go through. So there is something pure about, like you said, me, Clay, Draymond, setting the tone and building an identity for a team that then made it make sense for KD to be, be in a situation where he wants to join. Like, it's like he knows what we're about, and he could take us to another level. And so to be able to build that the way we did, and have the memories that we do, and then now be on the other side of it and say, okay, keep that same identity, that same championship mentality. Let's go for another window. Playing against teams that's going to be shuffling and doing a lot of changing throughout the summer. So it's fun to watch. I know for NBA fans, it's going to be amazing.
It's a year round. That's what continues to make the business grow.
But hopefully I can. I don't want to move nowhere. So hopefully you don't have to worry about that.
The Bay is good, man.
Yeah.
The Bay is good.
I love
the beach is down here.
It is nice, but the Bay is good. It's different. Tell me what it was like when it finally happened. When you guys signed KD, was there a back and forth talk? Did you know? Were you a part of it? Like, tell me what it was like when you landed him.
Yeah, we went out there to the Hamptons, and we met with him. And part of it was, again, kind of what I just said. Like, we knew who we were as a unit, and knew what kind of person he was, and obviously his skill set is unmatched. And so it makes sense. Let's go get this dude. A lot of people are talking about me coming off the MVP year and the sacrifice and all that type of stuff. Like, it's about winning. Like, obviously that does go through your mind. Like, oh, I might not have 22 shots this year. I might be like 19 and some change and play a different style. But for the most part, it wasn't really that drastic of a change. We know how we're going to get our shots, and everybody has a different style. Nobody really stepped on each other's toes. And so it made sense. I didn't know until he called me the morning of his decision. I was in Hawaii, actually, so the time difference was all messed up. I was asleep, and I woke up to like 78 text messages and calls, like, yo.
Right, like, goddamn.
And he was, I hit him back, and just that was the start of 3 great years that we'll remember for a very long time. And all the stuff that happened last year, and obviously the unfortunate injuries and all that type of stuff is a tough ending to an amazing time period, being for the Warriors. But man, we got 2 ships, almost got 3.
Right.
Like, it's a hell of a run.
Tell me what it was like, because like I said, you guys had your identity and knew who you were as a ball club and knew each other like the back of your hand. Tell me what kind of sacrifice it took from, like you said, you were coming off you had the unanimous MVP the previous year, right? First time in history. Clay is being Clay. Draymond's a fucking dog. So tell me what it was like when you get someone of his caliber, and then how everyone, it seemed, I wasn't there at the beginning, I got a taste of it, but it's seamless from the beginning. Like, everyone checked their egos and checked, the most important thing was winning.
Yeah, the egos are checked for sure. I say that, but at the end of the day, we all got to keep our egos.
Yeah, right. That's what makes you you.
It makes us who we are.
Right.
If we all have our best version of ourselves, like we
selfless maybe is a better word.
That's a good. Yeah, I like that. So that was known from the jump. On the court, like X's and O's and just the style. I said it wasn't a big adjustment for me, but I had to make the biggest adjustment in terms of, Draymond was such an amazing playmaker, and we had an offense where we could get him the ball, and guys were just moving around, setting screens for each other. Somebody's going to get open, and he was going to make the pass. K can play in that style. He can also just get the ball anywhere he wants to, and one-on-one, and good luck stopping him. Clay, same thing. All he needs is this much daylight, and he's
not
so
even
good.
that much.
Yeah, it's true. He's so good moving out the ball. All he needs is just a touch, and it's going up. My pick and roll stuff, which I was kind of the bread and butter of, the 2 years prior and MVP years and all that, wasn't that many opportunities because that was like the fourth option in terms of, us getting a good shot because we were all threats on the floor. And so that first 2-3 months was just a subtle adjustment in terms of, for me, just knowing, when I was going to be able to dominate in certain stretches of the game and like how we could balance all of that. And once we figured that out, we had a good run. K got hurt actually. I think like February.
That's when I came.
Yeah, which is a crazy story because 2 guys got jerseys for like a half.
That was
day.
crazy, right? People don't even know that. Yeah, that was crazy.
Thankfully, we got the right guy, and we went on a little run when you came. K was out, and that helped everybody understand like this system's gonna work. K is gonna come back healthy. We're gonna hit the ground running for the playoffs, and we went 16-1 in the playoffs and won. So, just a collection of guys that just wanted to hoop and play basketball at the highest level and didn't care how it was gonna get done. We were gonna make it happen, and we did.
Like I said, I was blessed to be able to come in and watch you guys and be a part of that. But what I saw from the outside looking in is when I got a chance to be on the inside, and then after I was on the outside again, did you guys ever feel, actually speak for yourself, it always seemed like the media tried to make it KD and the Warriors. Did you guys feel that?
Definitely felt that, and that was, anytime you have greatness, they're going to try to break it down
way to try
and
to
find
split it.
some way to just get their foot in the door. So yeah, it was always like the drafted guys plus the hired assassin KD. Oh, unfair, whatever.
It was never this. It was always the Warriors and KD.
As unfortunate as that narrative is, it couldn't have been further from the truth of how
you guys felt.
And
right.
so that's the hard part when you're at the top. It's a daily reminder. You have to come in with the right perspective because if one person slips or one rumor narrative cements itself in your head, we were on spotlight all the time, man. I don't think people appreciate that part of it. Our lives are on spotlight every single day.
Well, it's crazy too because when I came in, like you said, we went on a cool little run, and not because of me, it was just because of what that team was.
Right.
Obvious.
Fuck.
Obvious.
I was trying to say. Pig pussy pork?
That came out wrong. So
is a pig pussy pork?
What your record was when you did it?
The record was good though. What I meant to say was
way to not contribute
in the playoffs. I didn't do shit. That's why I don't even count that championship ring. We'll get into that later. But I appreciate the free ride. What I meant to say was we went on a hell of a run when KD was out, but you would hear those rumors like, look how good they're doing without him. And I'm just like, damn, people really talk like this, not knowing. Are you done laughing?
I'm listening.
Appreciate you. People not knowing how good he is, but like they say, they'll see the team doing what they're doing and staying on that consistent pace, and you start hearing oh well, they don't even need. And I'm just like,
it's
damn,
so
that's
stupid,
insane.
bro.
Do you not realize how motherfucking good this guy is?
It's silly though. I'm good now. You sick?
You
bro.
finally had a moment on me. I'm happy.
I'm just saying you sick though. You said
it came out wrong. You say this motherfucker it's a pig pussy pork. That's how blatantly obvious it was. One thing before we transition, man, I wanted to touch on is explain Explain Draymond to people who don't know Draymond. Because I think he's one of the most misunderstood people. Got a good heart, but sometimes it comes off the wrong way, and sometimes it's problemful, sometimes it's what's needed. Explain who he is in your words.
The first way I explain him is that Draymond, the basketball player, is not Draymond, the person.
No question.
Right? So, like, we all know Draymond, the person. Nicest dude, caring dude. He always checking in on you. He's loyal. Like,
Same way.
Yeah, everything about him, like, off the court, is somebody you want, like, around. You want somebody in your camp like Draymond. On the court, same way. He comes with that passion, comes, a lot of volatility in terms of, it galvanize us as a team, make sure, we got a lot of nice guys, the finesse games on, myself included. Like, you need that fire, like somebody that's that bulldog. And sometimes he'll admit the same thing. Like, sometimes it does get in his way because it might distract from just playing basketball. But over the course of whatever the 9 seasons we've been playing together, I'm taking that every single day of the week.
The good and the bad.
And so, and the bad is just an opportunity to learn, right? Like, that narrative is kind of tough because his transgressions are just exposed on the court. Like, and the guy that he was, first championship run, whatever, is not the same dude, and he's evolved and learned, and like we all have. It's just, he wears everything on the sleeve, and so everybody gets to have that journey with him almost.
He's like the dad out there now. Like, you and Clay are,
I know,
rehabbing, resting, and Draymond's out there playing, like, 20-something minutes a game. I talked to him here and there, and it's just, he's just a good dude, man. And he takes everything in stride and has. People don't understand how intelligent he is, and
crazy,
his basketball mind is second to none.
It is. I think Andre said it. Like, his IQ is the best he's ever seen, and either it comes out with him trying to make an adjustment, or it comes out in what he says to a certain person at a certain time to get them to do what he wants them to do to help the team win. Him understanding his own game and how he's going to be the most effective out there every single night. Him knowing every single player in this league and knowing every tendency you have.
Dude's
every
crazy.
pet move.
People don't understand, man.
His
mind is sick. Draymond's mind is sick.
So, yeah, that's my guy.
So what do you like to do now that you're down for a while? You haven't had this as a professional, like where you're an extended amount of time down. Like, what are you doing right now?
The crazy part is, like, I have 3 kids, 7, 4, and 1. And the first 3 weeks that I was hurt, I was just going like a stay-at-home dad, like doing all the stuff that I've always wanted to do, like take them to school, pick them up, go to all the extracurricular activities. My daughter's on horseback riding, playing soccer, like just being at every event without an excuse that I got to go somewhere or I got to be on a road trip and stuff. It was uncomfortable because I was still in that competitive mindset, and I didn't really know how to, use my free time because everything was centered around, practice. Or pre-practice routines, practice, post-practice recovery, and get ready for game days and travel and all that type of stuff. So when all that's taken away, it's kind of an uncomfortable, reality for a little bit. But now, knowing I still got, months to get back and get healthy, trying to lean into stuff I got off the court a little bit. Obviously, as a teammate, I haven't been at the games because I've been down here, with surgery and rehab, but you still got to be, president and leader and help these guys, develop, because this is going to help set us up for years to come. But in terms of balancing the stuff that I have on and off the court, it's another opportunity to just kind of get your mind right and personally just get a perspective on, what's important. And for me, I got a lot of cool opportunities off the court, man. Like doing some stuff on the production side down here with my company Unanimous, who's doing stuff with Sony. Y'all know I love to play golf, and there's a lot of opportunities in the golf business that hopefully I can influence and inspire.
Can you talk about some of the stuff you're doing, because you're doing some amazing stuff that I think you got highlighted, but people don't understand what you're doing. Can you explain what you're doing at the colleges and stuff?
Yeah, so in the golf space, I've been playing since I was 10, and it's a predominantly white male dominant sport, and it's expensive to play, and it's really hard to get in, and so trying to grow the game to underrepresented communities where there's a lot of talent. They just need the opportunity to be able to get out there and understand what how to play and gets that support so that they can compete. And so, because that provides so many opportunities in this day and age. And so, part of that was like Howard University had a Division I golf team like way back, and they lost funding. There's a lot of HBCUs that have a golf program, but Howard didn't. And so, part of my aim to grow the game and get some exposure around it was to try to bring the Division I golf program back. And so I sponsored the team that's going to start next year. It's going to be the Division I golf program. We're going to have 2 scholarship golfers, both 2 men, 2 women, to start the first team. And hopefully be able to set up an endowment over the next 6 years where that's going to be something that's going to be around forever. So it's exciting, man, because, I think not many people know how great of a game it is,
amazing.
but 2, just how many opportunities you can have. You can go to school and play golf and get an education, especially like a place like Howard. Like, that says the rest of your life, and you can use golf just like we use basketball as a vehicle to do it. So it's pretty cool.
Your dad said once that if you didn't play basketball, you probably could have went pro in golf. That's how
he said that. I kind of believe it because of how hard I work at basketball. Like, if I wasn't playing, I would put that same thing. But I always like hesitate to say it because I respect
what it takes
those
to get
professionals. I've seen them play, and it's just another level, man. And for me to just go out and wild out and say, I could be a professional golfer. Like, I wish somebody would say I could be a professional NBA player and bust you. Like, no, you couldn't.
Right.
So, but I think, like I said, I was playing for a long time. I love the game. I'm a golf junkie, golf nerd. It's kind of, I'm kind of obsessed.
That's what's up.
Just being on the sideline, watching, I know it sucks. I mean, we all been hurt. We've all been on the sideline, not been able to play. But watching your team go through what they're going through right now and not being out there to lead, what is that like? Like, is that frustrating?
It's a little uncomfortable and frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, when you're in the fight and in that, like, in the run that we are, it's hard to separate yourself and really, like, be okay with, this might not be our year. Like, that's a really hard thing to accept. But it's all a part. Like, history in NBA, like, nobody's had a run like we've had.
Right.
And if you look like the Spurs teams of the past, like, they never won back-to-back.
Right.
But they had a 17-year run where they were just dominant, and they were able to figure it out over time and put different pieces together with their core. And that's kind of like what we have an opportunity to do now going into, next year and beyond. So, yeah, that's the best way. It's still kind of new. I wouldn't say it's comfortable yet, but there is an understanding of just where we are, balancing these last 5 years and what's to come.
But then you got pluses on the team. Pascal Baller, it's good to see him do his
guys,
thing.
Man.
He can play, man.
He's
athletic too.
He's that dude. Like, just the confidence because of just how hard he works, but you can't teach that.
Right.
You can't. Like,
you gotta be born with it.
You gotta be born with it. You gotta be able to step on the floor and have that presence and, like, demand, like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's definitely shown that. Kai Bowman, who is our two-way player, Damian Lee, our two-way player. They both have promising futures in the league, and hopefully we can keep them around. A lot of guys that just, like my rookie year, just thrown in the fire, learn on the court. Like, and part of the conversation with those guys is, I think we all know that's the much better way to learn, as opposed to most rookies who just get camped on the bench or in the G League and have to learn by watching.
Right.
I'd rather have this experience, and for them, that's gonna be huge for them down the road.
Tell me what it was like. It's kind of a two-part. You on the way. Leaving Oracle, what that was like, but then the Jersey run you had, kind of representing our old squad.
Man, salute.
Yeah, that was dope.
Man,
that was big.
As the OG of the team, and, like, the only one that from 09, and this is my 10th year in the league, and so it's a cool opportunity. I called it 10 in the town.
10 at a time.
So I had my Curry Sixes. I had a whole colorway slate that was kind of highlighted stories of my journey throughout those 10 years and my connection to Oakland and our fan base over there. And it was a cool opportunity to just honor that the last 47 years playing in Oracle because of how much history there is, how Oakland was ride or die.
Fan base is insane. Good, bad, they're nuts.
Everything. And so, like, part of that, the last, like, 5 home games, I picked 5 people to kind of honor them and their presence with for Dub Nation with the old school jerseys and all that. So this was it. Stack.
I was first.
BD. Monte, Andres Biedrins.
That was dope.
And,
Goose. Shout out Goose.
Goose.
Wherever you're at, Goose. You're somewhere getting drunk, I know right now.
Everybody love Goose.
Shout you
What's
out.
up, Black? What's up, Black?
Oh, yeah. Good dude, man. Great dude.
But it was a cool opportunity just to highlight it, man, because everybody knew we were moving to Chase Center, and I mean, whether you liked it or not, it was happening. But
We appreciated it, man. That was big.
That was
man.
dope.
That was dope.
I hit Jack. I was
dog.
like, "Yo, Steph's wearing your jersey."
I couldn't believe I had to post it on my social media.
And I seen Draymond wearing mine. I'm like, these dudes fuck with us.
They fuck with us, yeah.
Well, it's crazy because we had the Fillmore 5. That's what we was named.
Fillmore 5.
We were in the streets of San Francisco doing shit we shouldn't do while we was playing.
I love that.
And then you guys were the Hampton 5. You guys were a little more studious, but it was dope because
Y'all were way smarter than we were.
But when I got a chance to play, like I said, I briefly got a chance to come back and play with you guys. Like the love out there for that team and what we had built was crazy. You know what I mean? And then you were huge and always honoring our team. And then I remember the year I won a championship, you guys in 17. Like you wore the We Believe warm up shirt. So you guys always showed love, and it was kind of a symbol what Oakland and the Bay Area was like as a whole, because they always paid homage. Like it was crazy the love they showed and those fans, how much they appreciated.
Like I said, I won a championship with San Antonio, but the Warriors organization is the only team that make me feel like family. Every year they bring me back, make me feel like they appreciate what I've done in my time there. And that's the only team that done it in my career.
It's crazy, man.
It's great.
So shout out the Warriors, man. Keep holding us down. And they got pictures. They got some pictures of us up in the new arena.
You seen the new Paris facility?
Yeah.
It's a whole journey, but like the We Believe and then our championship run.
That's dope.
That dominates the
That's what's
scene.
up.
So
We got to go check it out, though.
We got to. Last thing on Oracle, what was your most fondest memory or best game that comes to mind there?
I mean, I think probably 2017 winning the finals there and celebrating with all the fans. Like we had been waiting a whole year to have that because we had 2 opportunities to do it the year before and got beat, and then the next year we got it done. Celebrate. Where'd y'all win at home or on?
We won at home.
Yeah,
Game 6 at
there's
home.
nothing.
Our game 6 was that night was insane.
When they won it, that's how I was celebrating at the house. I felt like we won. I'm a warrior, bro.
Hell yeah.
I am a warrior. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so like just watching the clock run down, just seeing all our fans sticking around, the confetti was dropping, they put the stage down, like all our families are out there, and you just celebrating a championship, but you in your home venue, like
For the town.
Yeah.
For the town, though.
I want to just wear my jersey out of there. I ain't wearing
on some Ron Artest shit. Hey, you couldn't tell my kids they weren't on the team. They were trying to hold Steph's trophy, trying to hold the MVP. Like they were in the mix of kids. Some people hit me up like, "Yo, your sons are all over ESPN." Like they were up front. Like you would have thought they were Steph kids.
But
like,
we gotta salute you as a dad for getting them both
100%.
rings.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, 9 years old.
But what I'm saying, like, we gotta salute you for that. You know what I'm saying?
appreciate
Dad,
it.
we gotta give you your props. Give you flowers while you're still here.
I did as much as they did in the playoff run, but I appreciate that.
Your sons probably played more than you.
That's what I just said.
I warmed up more than you.
I did
too.
as much as the twins. I was hurt though. That was the fucked up part though, because I finally get a chance. Like my whole thing is I took less money to win, and I'm finally in a situation where I can win. So that I come in because KD gets hurt, play well, and then the game KD comes back, like I almost break my ankle. So I'm thinking, all right, fuck, I gotta hurry up and get this ankle healed. I want to play I'm gonna win a championship. So for me, like, and when I tell people the story with the 17 stuff, I don't really count the ring because I was someone who always, I had to get out the mud. You know what I mean? So I wasn't out here fighting with these guys. I was in and out
Patrick
of the
McCall,
lineup.
he counting all 3 of his. You better count them motherfuckers.
But it's different. It's different.
They go on the same finger. You
Yeah.
shine the same.
Nah.
Your name is on that roster.
I think Ray
when they
still
say
got
NBA
mine.
champions, when they introduce me and you on shit, they say 2 NBA champions. Fuck out of here. That shit count. Nah, I don't want to hear that shit.
I think Ray still got mine. I got to track Ray down and get my ring because I left it at the thing because I.
Wait, what? What's this?
When they came and introduced it to me, they had locked it up before. They locked it up during
Ray
the game for me. Ray had it.
If Ray got it,
wow.
If Ray got it, it's still our safe.
Good. I was
Shout out to
like,
Raymond.
who is Ray?
No,
Got
Ray
your ring?
We're good.
There's only one Raymond over there. We know who Raymond is.
Ray from Oakland.
Yeah, he got it
that
locked
shit
down.
locked.
You got it locked down.
Transitioning, meeting your wife at 15 and having a public we had D Wade and we spoke to D Wade, about a public relationship, and your wife is obviously blazing her own path. But tell me what that's like. Obviously a childhood love that's transitioned into a beautiful marriage with a family, and kind of the prototypical this is like the new family. The Currys are a power movement. Tell me what that's like.
Standard.
Which is wild to say because I'm just living my life, man.
Man, you saw that.
I know.
You saw it on Instagram. Better get your Aisha Curry. I know you saw that all over Instagram. I know they had to feel good.
I got me one, but
you got the one. You got the one.
Yeah. But it's weird. It's wild because I was talking about as my dad, my mom, how they raised us. Her parents the same. There's always perspective, right? And I grew up in the NBA, but I was just a kid, man, and I had a really cool childhood experience. 15, I meet Aisha. We aren't dating in high school, but we talk a little bit. And fast forward 4 years, I'm out in LA at the ESPYs because we just made our tournament run. And it's just me and my dad flying from Charlotte. I'd never been to LA before. Out here for the ESPYs. And I was like, I remember Aisha. I remember she moved out here because she was out here pursuing acting. So she had graduated from high school and came right out here to pursue acting, but we weren't talking at all. So I hit her up and I was like, hey, I'm out in LA, chilling, whatever. You gotta show me around because I ain't never been out here before. So we reconnected then. And a couple months later, she had moved back to Charlotte, and I'm still at Davidson, which is 30 minutes away. So we got to kind of keep it going. And from there, we were just two kids just enjoying life together and not really knowing what was about to happen. And when I got to the league, again, I'm just living my life, and as the spotlight starts to grow and all that, you're dealt with judgments and the expectations, and everybody just wants to know every step you take and all that stuff. And it's kind of uncomfortable at times because as humans, you react to stuff that's said about you.
Especially your family.
Yeah, your family and all that type of stuff. And the person to me is want to take it in stride, and you don't want to react to everything because you'll lose your mind.
Right.
But you want to protect the integrity of y'all's relationship. We started, way back when, and so it's an ever-changing kind of thing for us because even as you bring kids in this world, how are you going to raise them with this spotlight as well and keep their mind in the right direction and give them perspective and give them a chance to have a quote-unquote normal childhood and stuff. So a lot of responsibilities, but God don't make no mistakes, man. And for me and her, I think we appreciate the ability to inspire and impact people because of our relationship. That's if we can do it. We're not perfect. We got ups and downs, and there's gonna be challenges in every other relationship in this world. But if we can kind of persevere through all that stuff, man, we can be an inspiration and expectation for what it means to find somebody you want to share life with. And I don't want to get too sappy, but that's real.
It's real,
right?
And it's rare too, especially in our profession. So I think it's dope. The example you guys said, it's amazing.
So we're trying to figure it out.
It took me forever to find them.
But you did.
I finally found them.
8 kids later. Tammy. 7 kids later.
Yeah.
You still a good dude though.
Thanks.
We don't judge you.
Love you.
You're a very proud father. Your daughters are your world. When you finally got that little boy,
I did, man.
Cannon,
wow.
Tell me what that's like, man.
He is something else.
How old is he?
Beige motherfucker.
He is. He's a lighter skin. Is that what you say?
Another beige one. Gonna come out shooting from half. He gonna come out shooting from half.
His name is Cannon.
I gave him that
Cannon. Yeah, you already know. He got it locked and loaded in the diaper right now. Cannon.
In the diaper.
In the diaper, you got it locked and loaded.
He's 17 months, man. He's unbelievable. Named him after my granddad. So it's Cannon Wardell Jack. That was my granddad's name. And so he's the first real boy on either side, first boy grandbaby. So he's spoiled rotten, but he's unbelievable. And it's kind of cool to see our two older girls it not just be about them anymore, and
they all over him too, though, huh?
What? Low key, I feel like I just met him. my wife is holding him hostage the whole first year. Now the girls got a hold of him.
Yeah.
Cannon, I'm over here, man.
I'm your dad.
What's up, man?
We kind of look alike.
when he get 5 and get the dribbling that ball, that's daddy gonna take over.
Just be patient. Be patient. I told him. He's unbelievable. So we're blessed 7-4-1. Like I said, there's amazing ages right now. Coming into that little personality.
It's dope.
I'm enjoying it, man. And it's like crazy thing, just to, like like you said, taking your kids to the game. Like the first time I got to take my son and sit him on the bench, and my dad was there next to him, and like just thinking about like that used to be me, man.
Hell yeah,
that part of it
awesome.
still is crazy.
Well, touch on your girls too, because off camera you told us that they designed these shoes right here. Put them up on
man.
the table. How Jack be putting his Jordans up on the table. tell us about the inspiration through the girls.
Yeah, so I gave Riley, she's 7 now. I gave her and her sister Ryan, who's 4, the CAD drawings to these shoes. It's probably a year ago, so these were just in the makings, and told her, "You just go. Daddy's gonna make a new shoe, but I want you to design it." And so you should see the focus on her face. Like,
I can imagine.
All right.
I'm
You
in
gonna
for
wear?
it.
You gonna wear?
Riley's
these?
intense.
Yeah,
She's intense, bro.
When you put a task in front of her, she took the drawing, got her crayons out, and just went to work. And I told her to make like a bunch of different options, and then bring me what her favorite one was. So don't like stick to the first one. Like just let
it flow.
So we went through this whole process, man. She did it, and UA put it together.
That's what's up.
Got the Riley specials, the giraffes.
Riley
He asked if it was
specials.
Cheetah Girls. Like she just started watching it.
Okay.
It's crazy now. We got to bring back all old shows, like the shows we used to grow up on. I'm not saying I grew up on Cheetah Girls. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying?
It's another
so
time.
like bring showing them, like we watched Home Alone, the first one. Like,
We
my
just
kids
watched that the other
day,
night with
like,
the fam.
They're like, who is this
Yeah,
movie?
but they loved it
They
though.
loved
The
it.
Sandlot.
Yeah, all the classics, right?
Yeah.
So we get to relive our childhood a little bit too.
Tell me what is. I mean, think about it while we're talking about shoes. Mid-major out of Davidson, and then
Talk
you
to
come out, change the face of the game, and you got your own shoe. Like, tell me what kind of dream in this run has been like for you. Like, you're the light-skinned assassin. Like, you
You did
changed
what AI done.
the NBA.
You believe that? Can you believe that? You did what AI done to the game.
I can, because I grew up watching them, and like I remember the first pair of signature shoes I had some Shocks. Like besides the Jordans, I had some Shocks, and that was the ones I used to rock in the games all the time in high school. And like thinking about being in a position where I'm on my 7th, going on 8th shoe, and representing a brand like UA and a team, and changing the game, like all that type of stuff. It's just crazy, because I don't think you ever have time to like stop. I don't know if I should. Like you don't have time to stop and just think about it all, and put it in perspective, because you're still on that chase.
You're in the moment.
It's crazy, man. The coolest part is like when you walking down the street somewhere and you see somebody rocking your kicks, and like I just want to know like the why, like why you connect with it, or why you want to rock them. Like I know hopefully they make you shoot better, but it's like that part of people connecting to your story and want to rock your gear.
Right.
That's crazy. I heard I was listening to y'all's podcast the other day. You can get like 2 pair of these for that. I heard.
Come on with them.
We was talking about the shoes. I said, you probably get 2-3 pair of good stuff. I was talking shit.
That let you know Steph was listening,
Hey, he's
bro.
a fan. We appreciate you, bro. That's a good one. But that's a funny story. I remember I've been talking about the Twins so much because they really fuck with you. But I remember when I was playing for the Clippers, and it was career day. And one twin came out with my jersey, and one twin came out with Steph's jersey. He's like, Dad, I'm sorry. And people are like, oh, he doesn't like. I was like, I can't be made like Steph. What the fuck? I mean, come on, man, it's Steph. You know what I mean? So I think it's dope to be able to, like I said, what you mean to this next generation is really, man. Like I said, we talk about the game you changed, but like I coach the next generation, and you're the guy. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's handling and learning how to shoot, man. So it's really hats off to really what you've been able to accomplish up to this point, although the story's still, plenty more to write. You've been able to do a lot in this space, man, and we appreciate you.
AI said, they asked AI his top 5 players of all time. He said your name.
You know what's funny? I have that saved on my phone. Because that's so
like I talk to Chuck all the time. We tell each other you love each other like 10 times through the conversation. But like for him to say that,
it's crazy, right? Like I'm never gonna get. I ain't ever gonna have a big head where you like that dude who I picked up a lot of the game and inspiration from. That he's now looking at my game like, yo, he's one of my favorite PG. Like that's.
For him to say that,
Shaq the same way.
Yeah,
like he says so much love for me as well. And in the spirit of times where like some OGs, they don't want to relinquish the
a lot of them be hating. Yeah. A lot of them be hating. Just keep it real, they be hating.
And that part of it, like when you see the guys actually, like the same way we respect the OGs, like we want it both ways. And so like when you do hear that means something, man. For sure.
That's what's up, man. I heard a rumor that your mom fined you $100 for every 3 turnovers. Is that true?
It was any 3 turnovers. I had to give her $100, and so she got a lot of handbags. Let's put it that way. I be throwing them crazies, and she be up there like she be yelling at me, but she be mad happy at the same time.
She's coming into. I need 2,800. I need Steph 3 more turnovers tonight, and I'm gonna get this back.
Yeah, there's a lot of sports bureau over there with my assist to turnover ratio. She's like.
But I'm enjoying it too.
She didn't seen enough stat sheets in her day.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Explain your relationship with Nipsey. Obviously, you know, he was someone I looked up to, admired, got to befriend and come close to. You know, to us, he's a legend. He's on the wall. Tell us what your relationship like with Nipsey.
I talked to J-Rock today, so he said what up too.
Tell myself, I got to know him the year before he passed, and he came on my 5 Minutes from Home show. Took time out of his day, came up to the Bay. You know, we hopped in the back of the Sprinter, and like part of that filming, it usually only takes like an hour to get, you know, the footage and you have a good conversation, all that. Like I feel like I was talking to him for way longer than that, just because of how real he was and his perspective on life, and like the way he talked about his daughter and raising her, and his relationship with Lauren, like all that type of stuff was just real. And obviously his music, you know, it stands for itself. But when you have God in the spotlight that, you know, has a story and has a journey and is able to turn that into inspiration, you know, beyond probably anything he imagined, but the way that he carries himself speaks about more than anything that he does. And the work that he does in the community and all that type of stuff, that, you know, his legacy is going to live on forever. But it's just like it shook me because I literally just met him, and you know, you appreciate people like that have an impact on you.
But I'm sure it was somewhere you felt like you knew him forever, because that's how open, real, and raw he is.
It's exactly. I watched that episode. I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times since we did it, because there's so many gems in there from him in terms of just, all the time. And the way that he speaks, he's approachable. Like he takes you on a journey too. Like you can tell like it's authentic, and that part of it is special. So, you know, to his family and all that, you know, I know everybody has their back, and the legacy he leaves, we all have to carry it, right?
Yep.
In our own, you know, special, unique way. So
with honor.
TMC, rest in
100%.
peace, Nip. We saw that you attended Kanye's Sunday service. What was that like?
Please tell me what that was like.
I absolutely loved it, bro.
Really?
Like the Sunday service is for. I don't. Let's put it this way. I don't care somebody's past, you know, what they stand for. Like, you can not agree with somebody, and any or everything that they say. But when they come in, and I think it's. When they come in and represent Jesus, and they talk and everything that they do, and the music and the vibe and the spirit that you feel in that place, like it did something to me, like in terms of, you know, that 2.5 hour you know, experience. And so I'm rooting for him, man. Like I'm rooting for him in terms of what he's doing, the journey that he's on. You know, if he can change, or you believe that's possible, then anybody can. And I'm not going to discredit, you know, my God in that respect. And so I was curious about it, because I heard so many people going, and just, you know, the choir or the collective is, you know, their name, and with Kanye, and just from his album and all that type of stuff. Like I wanted to experience it, and I had a great time, man. I'm
happy to hear
it
that.
Was legit. So
because
shout out to him.
That's one thing Jack says. You know, we don't have to always agree with what someone's saying, but we keep that line of respect. You know what I mean? I think just in culture today, the disrespect is crazy.
Be able to sit down and have a conversation too.
That's it.
Like
get to know
that
him.
part of it is
being
able to open that door and have some actual progress. Because if not, we're just gonna sit on the other side of the line and just yell at each other the whole time, or like cast judgment and talk, you know, some trash about you, and nothing's gonna happen. So for him to put himself out there too, that's the thing for me. Like that's huge. So I'm rooting for him.
What are you listening to right now? What's your top 5 artists?
I still rock with Lupe Fiasco.
Kick push, kick push, kick push.
What's crazy is he's from Charlotte too. The baby is.
He goes hard.
He goes
He's
hard.
one of the young dudes I fuck with. I like the baby.
And I know high school he went to, advanced high school and all that is right a couple miles from where I grew up.
That's what's up.
I ain't never met
He
him.
on
though.
fire.
So wherever he's at, I ain't never met you,
Tell
the
him,
baby.
come on, man, you gotta go fuck with
We gotta
Steph.
do something, man.
Yeah, get him on-
704 is we
Hold it
like we're
down.
doing things right
I
now.
can't
So
believe y'all
understand
haven't
that.
met.
I know
Right.
it's crazy. That's on both of us.
I mean,
That's
from
on
here
both of
now,
us.
once you meet Steph, just come fuck with our podcast right now.
Yep, the baby, come on
I'll
down
be
there.
here for.
Right. Yeah.
But and then I got Christian artists that do listen to obviously the baby and all that. There's this dude named Tarn Wells,
Christian artist?
Christian artist.
Uh-huh.
What's his
You
name?
might Tarn Wells.
Sean Wells. I'm trying to
You
check
might
him
not.
out.
You got to take a chance. It's just a different a different vibe.
I listen
So
to a lot of the gospel, so I'll check it out.
It's a little new age. He got some flavor.
I know
Though.
you got a friendship with Drake. What's that like?
It's all over the place because we was like.
Because it's bad.
Yeah,
They don't
it's
know if
just
y'all,
like-
they don't know if y'all
honestly-
brothers or what. Bro, this motherfucker.
Honestly, it's crazy because obviously it started from the first name drop he hit me with the
Yeah,
Chef Curry with
Chef
the pot,
Curry.
right? And I think that was like 2015. But from there, we have some connections in both of our families. Aisha's cousin is part of OVO crew, and so like we spent a lot of time together. And
Does he have your number tattoo on him?
yeah,
Yeah,
with
he
with the halo, I think.
Yeah.
That's like the way you talk to him about that is like him respecting greatness
Yeah,
all
yeah.
across the board. Whether it's some people that he's
All his tattoos mean
it
something.
means something,
Yeah.
right? So like, it's nothing corny about it. It's literally like when you appreciate
Paying
somebody.
homage.
with-
Yeah.
Paying homage.
That's love. So last year was fun because the whole Toronto
Right.
connection and all that. Him talking trash on the court.
He was talking
to
big
me,
shit.
Draymond, everybody.
He's good for basketball.
Yeah, he is, man.
great.
I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of talk about him with his antics and stuff on
Yeah,
the sidelines
yeah,
and all
I
that.
think it's great.
He dude's the owner of the team, and he's
Yeah.
passionate about what's going on here, and like that's getting everybody going, and it's raising the popularity of the game. As long as he ain't interfering with the actual game, like,
Right. Which he won't.
Yeah,
Right.
he ain't gonna do that. So, I called him after the finals. I was hot. I
Personal at all, or?
no, I was just mad because we lost, but
Mhm.
I was trying to like congratulate because I know it's his
Lightweight.
team, and he
Right.
it hurt.
Did it? It hurt.
It's hard.
Like, God damn it, congratulations.
I'm over here laugh crying like But it was fun though.
Oh,
man. It was
man.
fun though. He shows love all the time. So
Tell me what it's like when you started hearing, like, being dropped in songs, like with different artists dropping your names in songs. What was that like?
it was fun, man. Because anywhere you go, like people you hear that they wouldn't call you your name no more. Be like, oh, Chef Curry with the pot. So I can't keep a tab on how many times it's happened since then, but that was like the first one that actually change that status a little bit. My favorite one though is hilarious. Cardi B got the one with me and Aisha. She's like, I want to get married like the Curry, Steph, and Aisha.
Yeah,
that joint's
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, that's dope.
Steph and Aisha.
There you go,
Yeah.
setting
Be
that
more like
example.
Belly, Tommy, and Keisha. Like,
Yeah, that's what's up.
that's my favorite joint though.
That's one of her biggest songs too.
Yeah.
That's hard. Before we get out of here, we got a couple quick hitters. All time, your starting five. You
All
can
time?
include yourself if you want.
Oh, you asked me right now. Ask me when I'm done playing, but right now, that's crazy. I think I've answered this before. I'm probably gonna have a different
That's
starting
okay.
lineup. So we're gonna go Magic, Michael, Larry. Wait, Shaq.
Only one more spot.
Let me make sure I got all my positions. Magic, PG,
Yep.
Michael, shooting guard, Larry, small forward. Any power forward?
Yep.
Tim Duncan.
Of course.
Mm,
How can you not?
Yeah.
tough.
Give me three of the most underrated players you played against.
Ooh, I like that question.
The most underrated
I like
players.
that question. Mike Conley, Drew Holiday,
Drew Holiday
I
is a
play with
good
Mike
one.
Conley.
Seth Curry.
Seth Curry.
I like that.
I like that.
What's that like? You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. You took the school road, and became a superstar. He took the major school, and then it's taken him a while, but he's starting to find his footing.
But what's crazy about Seth is like a step before Duke, he was at Liberty University.
I didn't even
in
know that, was he?
Lynchburg, Virginia. He
Okay.
played his freshman year there. I think they were like the Big South Conference. He was leading the I believe it was the nation in his freshman scoring. And then teams started playing like crazy janky defenses against him because his teammate, the talent on the squad was okay, but everybody was just trying to take him out of it. And it's like, I can't get better here if they're gonna play boxing 1 or triangle 2 on me the whole game. So he proved himself at Liberty. Coach K came calling, so he transferred to Duke, played there for 3 years, and he had an injury his senior year. He had some a shin fracture, so he missed the whole draft process. Pre-draft process, he didn't get drafted and had to go to the D League at the time, but the G League route. And for him, like to have like the crazy ups and downs, like small D1 school, Duke, G League, back to getting some 10-day contracts, and then finally establish himself as an NBA player. And now, fast forward 5 years, the man just got some bread. So, and he earned every bit of it. And so that part of it's just so much fun to watch because
it's your brother.
He's my guy, and like I'm his biggest fan in everything that he does. And you want him just get an opportunity because I know what type of player he is, and he can help. He's supposed to be in the NBA, and to think last year in West Conference Finals we're playing against each other, and my parents up there, and just nervous and crying and emotional and all that. It was unbelievable. So.
Yeah, and I saw him laugh when he plucked you that time.
Oh my God! I had talk about turnovers and my mom getting handbags. He was responsible for about 5 of them.
Right? Cost you some money.
Don't nobody know your game better than your brother.
No,
my brother never played in the NBA, but to this day, he one person I cannot beat in one-on-one, dog.
Crazy.
For some reason.
It is crazy.
Current player that reminds you of yourself? Anybody?
I mean, a little bit of Trey. He's more
baby Steph.
Yeah, he's got that element. That's about it, I think.
That's all I could think of. Either Trey. That's all I could think of.
Last question. Taking you and your team out of the picture, who do you think? Who do you think will be in the finals this year?
No. Leave your team in the picture. Keep it real. Leave your team in the picture. Who you think? Yeah, I ain't winning this shit. Let's keep it real. I ain't winning this year. Ain't no need to sugarcoat the shit, man. That's our little brother. He know what time it is. Leave y'all team in there. Take his team out. Leave the motherfuckers in there. Know what time it is. It's just what it is, man. Y'all need a break, man. Y'all been playing basketball for the last 50 years.
Tell them.
All the way to the finals, y'all need a break, but realistic.
Leave your team in there.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't doing shit.
Ask the question again.
Can you rephrase this question, please? Who's winning it this year?
With his team in there. Don't take them out.
I'm gonna say, if I was betting right now,
You're a betting man.
I can't bet.
Right.
Don't come get me, Adam.
Yeah. right.
But if I had to pick right now, I mean, it'd be the Lakers and Milwaukee, just because they playing the best right now.
Solid.
Solid. And I would watch every game of that series.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they got it right now.
AD. Tim Duncan on steroids.
Steph, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for your
Yes,
time.
sir. I can't wait to get that headline.
Yeah,
Steph Curry thinks the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks going to be in the finals.
And that's a wrap, man. Episode 13 with my brother.
Yes, sir. We did it again. 13.
You were funny this episode.
Man, hey,
You was on your shit.
Man, appreciate it. You've
I
been
want
killing
to
me all year.
thank
get you
Matt
back
Barnes
one
for
time.
the 2017 NBA championship.
Right.
Yeah, man. They wouldn't have won it without Matt.
It wasn't though. I was over there cheering my ass off.
Yo, I was crying.
He been killing me all year. He been killing me.
That's what I said. You was on your shit today. You got me
killed
back. That's the
I had
first
no
time,
comebacks.
Jack.
All
And the fucked up part was I said, well, you be setting
You
yourself.
set
I
that
set
up.
myself
Yeah.
up for it too close.
13th episode. I finally got a funny joke in. Shit.
He got me. But anyways, that's a wrap. Episode 13.
13.
All the smoke. Steph Curry. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
You can find the Showtime Basketball YouTube channel or all platforms streaming podcasts.
All of them.
Warning. May I have your attention? At the sound of the bell, any and all punches, including jabs, hooks, and uppercuts, will be legal for 12 continuous rounds.
What a flurry by Garcia!
Danny Garcia is back to purge the welterweight division. Plus, Jarrett Hurd returns to strike fear inside the ring. On Showtime.